Ocean maps are pretty much filled in. Every peak, every trough, practically charted. But there are places where even light fears to tread. Places untouched by human hands. Bottomless, bone-chilling, utterly empty. And sometimes, just sometimes, we seem to glimpse through that veil of mystery, like in this shot, just your run-of-the-mill satellite pic, a patch of Antarctic ice and water, but amidst the blinding white and the dark, lifeless expanse, a shape looms, something eerily pale, gargantuan, as if a shadow given form, a shadow risen from the abyss where life shouldn't be, a shadow that just doesn't belong in this world of light and ice. And it was staring up, right at us. Or is it just a trick of the light? An illusion conjured by our fear of what's buried in the planet's coldest heart? We just don't know. And maybe, just maybe, we never will. Hey everyone, this is Fernando with a new episode on cryptids and monsters. As always, this video is based on one of your suggestions, and in this episode, we'll be talking about one specific cryptid, the Ningen, one of the most mysterious creatures I've ever covered on this channel. I'm particularly drawn to the concept of the Ningen, based on the fact that this creature apparently dwells only in frigid waters. We're talking the oceans around Antarctica, and possibly even areas in Southeast Asia, where you find those icy glacial runoffs, notorious for their bone-numbing temps. Because, goes without saying, our planet is mostly water, and huge swathes of it are still uncharted territory. And it's precisely the low-temp areas that are the least explored, because, well, if there aren't indigenous peoples living there, those spots are basically untouched by human hands. Right? So this is a pretty intriguing concept. And next, I'm going to lay out some of the research and info I've managed to dig up. So, what is the Ningen? It's said to be a gargantuan cryptid, tipping the scales at 20 to 30 meters long. That means it's a colossal creature, a true behemoth, clocking in at almost 100 feet long. And this cryptid, as I mentioned, is said to inhabit the oceans around Antarctica and possibly southern Asia. Its most standout feature is its eerily pale, almost snow-white skin. This makes it instantly recognizable, but also kinda makes sense, given the habitat. If a creature needs to blend seamlessly into the Arctic waters, what better way than skin that perfectly melds with the surrounding ice and snow? Sightings reports primarily come from crew members aboard whale research vessels. They describe this creature as completely white, 20 to 30 meters long, describing its shape as humanoid, with legs, arms, and even hands with 5 fingers. However, there's conflicting testimony regarding the legs. Some eyewitnesses swear they saw distinct legs, while others describe more of a mermaid-like tail, possibly with fins that could function like legs. So, there's a bit of a disconnect on this particular aspect. However, as you can see from this illustration, the Ningen is depicted walking on a glacier, which again brings up the question. Maybe it uses fins if it has a tail, but these fins look like legs. Or, as in this case, it genuinely has legs. The only other consistent feature is its quite the expressive face. It has eyes and a mouth, giving it those human-like characteristics. That's another human-like detail. As for the Ningen, this creature is extremely rarely seen. It likely spends the vast majority of its life submerged underwater and only occasionally makes landfall, perhaps for hunting, or maybe just to catch some rays, or for reasons known only to it. Which is why sightings are so few and far between. Those who have managed to spot this creature have also described it as thick or fat. This also makes total sense, because to survive in those frigid Arctic waters, you gotta have massive fat reserves, kinda like seals or whales. These massive blubber layers help trap the heat. Eyewitnesses also claim it has actual hands. Limbs with hands it uses to propel itself through the ocean, and some reports even mention fingers it can manipulate with. Where exactly have these sightings popped up? As mentioned, in Arctic waters, but reports of its appearance have also popped up in the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. As for sighting frequency, it peaked during the heavy whaling era, when fishermen were slaughtering whales left and right. That's when the sighting reports hit their peak. This also makes sense. Suddenly, in areas usually devoid of humans, a massive influx of whalers showed up, relentlessly hunting and wiping out thousands of whales. A creature that lived in this environment, preferring isolation, found itself thrust right into the path of humans, which is where these reports started cropping up, and the descriptions are uncannily consistent. These creatures are gargantuan, almost 100 feet long. Incidentally, there are 0 credible reports of the Ningen ever attacking anyone. No reports of harm or aggression have surfaced from its side. It seems like a pretty peaceful creature. It shows no hostility, doesn't attack people, and doesn't bother them. It gives the impression that it's just swimming about its business, and in those cases where it was spotted, and it did spot people seeing it, it didn't make a move, it just dipped out. Thus, this creature is clearly not keen on mingling with folks. One of the most intriguing sighting accounts apparently involves a foreign submarine. Apparently, the sub was surfaced, and crew members spotted an object they initially mistook for another submarine. However, upon getting closer, it became obvious that this was something else entirely. Something alive. It was no submarine, and returning to the idea that the creature doesn't interact with humans, as soon as this Ningen spotted the submarine watching it, it quickly submerged and hasn't been seen since. Another point of interest relates to the advent of services like Google Maps, which made virtually every corner of the globe viewable via satellite. Reports surfaced of a few images allegedly capturing Ningens in satellite photos. Here's one such example. Is it a Ningen, or more likely, just a wave crest and some foam, creating that image? Who knows? It's open to interpretation. However, the shape, though, does undeniably echo the Ningen descriptions. Man, how cool would that be if satellite pics actually snagged one? But either way, the Ningen is a cryptid, one of the most elusive and least understood creatures in this world. Please let me know if anyone out there has any Ningen stories. Drop your comments down below. And if you've ever had an encounter yourself, drop your experience with this creature in the comments too. I'd lean towards saying it very likely does exist. Again, so much of the ocean is still unexplored. It might be on the maps, but such a huge chunk of the ocean has simply never been traversed by humans that such a creature could absolutely be out there, chilling, unseen, save for those fleeting moments of observation. And if anyone has any information regarding, say, a body recovery or a Ningen capture, please also post it in the comments so we can all share in the experience. So yeah, pretty interesting cryptid. Not so much terrifying as peaceful. Just a creature of the deep. Still, it remains an utterly, utterly fascinating creature. I truly hope something resembling this amazing creature is actually out there. All right, everyone. Thanks as always. Take care. Peace out.